Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hi, I'm Tanealia. Today's video we're going to be doing a shop my stash. I have some products that are new to my and some products that I have been loving for a while. We're just going to kind of put together a quick little look. I have a couple of errands that I want to run today, so we're not going to be doing anything like fancy, too crazy, too major, but I thought it would be fun to play around with some of these products. I was doing a little bit of organizing and realized that I have some products, especially eyeshadow palettes, that I have never used before, so we're just going to kind of play around with some new things, some more established things, and just kind of have fun playing with makeup. So I'm going to prime using the Power Grip Primer from e.l.f. This has become one of my favorite primers. This one and the Mint Melt one are very similar to each other, but I find that I like this one a lot more. I just feel like the Mint Melt one just does not give me the same finish, the same overall staying power as this one does. I already did my brows. I had another video that I filmed, kind of a skincare thing right before I filmed this video, so the brows are already done. They're usually not done ahead of time. I just threw on the long-lasting brow pencil from She. This thing is massive. I think I'm going to put this in my project empties next and go ahead and use this up. The other products that I have currently I'm liking. I have two foundation options. I have the Studio Makeup Tinted Moisturizer. This came out of my last BoxyCharm for March. It's a little bit deep, so I'm going to try it out. If it's too deep to be used now, then I'm going to go ahead and use this AOA Studio Vita Glow Moisturizer and then just try this one as a bronzer. Let's see how it goes. A little bit and just kind of put it. Yeah, right now that is going to be too deep, like way too deep. When we get deeper into the summertime and I've gotten a tan, that'll work better, but for now, yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's much better. So how are you guys doing today? The only thing that I really have to do as far as errands I need to run and have my tire looked at. I got 4 new tires put on my car this past Saturday. Today is the following Friday. Wednesday, I noticed that one of my tires, the back right one, was a little bit low. Well, not a little bit low, a lot low. It was showing 19 while the tire pressure on the other tires was over 30. I did go ahead and fill up the tire and it seems to be holding air now, but I'm going to go ahead and have them look at it today just to make sure that there isn't anything wrong with it. They're 4 brand new tires. I have road hazard and everything on them, so I might as well check just to make sure, you know, if it needs to be replaced or anything. So it can be on the safe side there. I'm really liking the combination of this Vita Glow Tinted Moisturizer with that e.l.f. Grip Primer. It's the first time that I've worn them both together and it's really looking nice. I definitely have a very healthy glow going on this morning. A little bit more on my nose. I usually need a little more coverage right here in the front. I have a new concealer I'm going to try out today. This shade is in Medium Sand, number 325, I think it is. This is the Tarte Antioxidant Concealer. This is part of my Sephora haul. I didn't use it in that video because I used the one size from Patrick Starr. This is the little mini size. I love when products come in a mini because then you can try them out before you buy the full size, especially when it's a little bit pricier like this one is. It might be a little light, but it's definitely going to be brightening. So funny story. When I went to fill up my tire, and yes, that is definitely going to be quite bright. What I do whenever I put gas in my car or like I'm checking my tires or anything like that, I usually take my keys, I sit them in the passenger seat, and then I get out and do what I need to do. And so that way, if someone should jump in the car, they can't immediately take off because my keys are in the ignition. Well, on this day, I did the exact same thing. I turn the car off, I leave my keys in the seat, I get out, fill the tire up with air, I go back to get back in my car, and the door is locked. I have been putting my key in the seat like that for years, and I have never accidentally locked the door. My guess is that this time I must have accidentally pressed the lock button before I got out the car, and so I'm standing there and I am looking in the window. My wallet and my keys are on the seat and my phone is in the phone mount. I can't even make a phone call. So I'm just standing there feeling really stupid. And so I do the only thing that I can do. I go inside and I ask the clerk if they would call me a tow truck, a locksmith, because I locked my keys in the car. So he calls them, I get on the phone, I let them know what happened. I paid $115 with tax for them to come out and unlock my door. Still feeling pretty stupid about that. I mean, I have never locked my keys in my car. Never. In the entire time I've ever been driving has that ever happened. The first layer, I did see a decent amount of coverage. I will say that it's blending out very smooth. I decided to go ahead and just put on another coat just to see if I get a little more coverage in that area. So far, I've got brightness, but I don't have a ton of coverage. Usually I like to use a color corrector, but whenever I'm using a new concealer, I want to see how the concealer works on its own without having to use a color corrector. And this one is okay. I'll have to play around with it a little bit more. Next time I may go ahead and use a color corrector. Formula-wise, though, it does feel very good, and it does feel very creamy. I do like that. I'm going to go ahead and try this Tinted Moisturizer as a bronzer. Since it's a liquid, usually I use a powder. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to just kind of blend it into my foundation. So I'm going to put a couple of drops there, here, and then kind of on the sides here, and maybe a little bit on the nose. I don't know. We'll see how that works. I'm just going to kind of blend it all together with my sponge. Okay, that works pretty good. Seeing a little bit of bronzing going on. Alright. We'll see how it looks after I put my setting powder on over it, because I have oily skin. I do have to set everything down. We don't walk out the house without setting powder. I'd be a greasy mess after 1 hour. Okay. Kind of like how that's looking. Alright, that worked. So for the time being, we'll just use this as a liquid bronzer until summertime comes and I get my summer tan on. So I'll set everything down with my Wet n Wild Loose Photofocus banana powder. When the dude came out to unlock the door, yeah, I felt, like I said, I already felt really stupid, but then when I saw like what he did to unlock the door, I was like, I paid $115 for that. Basically, what he did was he had this kind of a pouch thing. It looks like the armbands for blood pressure, like when you go to the doctor. He took it and he pushed it in, wedged it in between the door and the car. And then he takes the little handle thing and he pumps it up. And it just kind of opens the door just a little bit so he can get this pole in the inside. And then he slides this pole in. It has like a little hook on the end of it, unlocks the door. And it literally took like 2 minutes. And I'm sitting here like, I paid $115 for that. But then again, it was my dumb self that locked my keys in the car. I've never done that before. And yeah, I will never do that again. I'm just grateful that I had money, that I was at a gas station where the clerk let me make a phone call, that I had everything there. I wasn't like on the side of the street somewhere where there was nobody around. I couldn't get to a phone or anything. So situation could have been worse. I'm also grateful for the fact that I also did have the money, because I could have been in a situation where I didn't have my wallet. And I'm just kind of, just SOT, out of luck, Just taking some of this AOA Studio Perfect Press brightening powder and pressing it in under my eyes to set everything down. I used this in my last trying on AOA haul, and I set the under eyes using a brush, and I didn't really like the finish, but I'm actually finding that if I take my sponge and I take the powder and I press it directly under the eyes, it looks a lot better. It sets a lot better. It looks a lot smoother, and I do see more brightness going on. So yeah, we've been using it that way, and I've been really, really liking it. I just noticed that my goal signs wasn't lit up back here. I have no idea how long it was showing dim, but I like to see that in the background because it helps to remind me of my goals for the channel whenever I'm filming. So for blush, Influencer sent me 2 of the Tinted Moisturizer blushes from Mercier. I've already done a video. Did I do a video? I may not have done a video for these, but I did do an Instagram post for these. Provence is way too light. I'm actually going to give this one to a friend. I did like Coastline. This is more of a kind of a bronzy, red, pink kind of a shade. It says it's a tinted moisturizer blush. The consistency of this does not feel like a tinted moisturizer at all. It just feels like a straight liquid blush. I'm going to apply this over powder. When I apply this, this is what I learned the first time that I did this. This dries down very quickly. So when you put it on, you have to just work. You have to work and get that blended out. Because if you don't, and you also want to do one cheek at a time. I tried to do both cheeks and it was a mess. I ended up with spots that I could not blend out because it blended out so quickly. I mean, you see that right there? It's already setting down. Now, I will say that it is extremely long wearing. I will give it that much, but I hate the fact that it blends out so quickly. I have tried a couple of times just blending it over my foundation first. It does give you more time to work with it, but still, it blends out quickly. When you use these, you want to work fast because they set down like in no time at all. This shade gives me kind of a sunburnt almost look to it. Like I look like I've been out in the sun. I wish they'd given me different shades than the ones that they did, but I'm not unhappy with it. The formula though, I'm not that thrilled with. For highlighter, I pulled out my Mercier Luminizer one from the Balm. I haven't used this one in a while. I think it's been actually like several months since I've used it, but it's a really pretty, just kind of light, not too super high shine, more natural looking highlighter. I'm going to prime my eyelids with our Milani eyeshadow base. I have two eyeshadow palette options that I'm looking at for today. The first one is from I Love Revolution. It is the Stay Sassy Aristocrats Disney collaboration. I was going through my palettes, reorganizing, and I realized I have never used this. I bought this like maybe 2 months ago when it first launched, and it's just been sitting in my drawers. It's not been touched. I did use it a couple times this week because I realized that I hadn't used it. The color story I do like. I do like the fact that there are different looks that you can put together with this. Like there's a whole variation of looks that you can do. And I do find that the formula in this one is slightly better than the other Disney collaboration I Love Revolution palettes. It's actually pretty decent. The shimmers and everything was nice in this one. But the one that I'm going to go ahead and use today, this one is from Wet n Wild, is the Color Icon palette. This one does not have a palette name. This came out of my Wet n Wild advent calendar in December. Also, this has been sitting in my drawer, and I realized I've never used it. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to pull this one out today and we're going to give it a try. This is an all matte palette, so I may pull out a shimmer from here or just take that Mercier Luminizer and kind of stick it in the inner corner. I'm taking Blend Bunny 5, which is the fluffy brush, and we're just going to go in this middle tone right here. The one thing about this palette that's throwing me off is I kind of feel like that purple shade is just random. I don't think it really fits with this color story. So I just want to take this and I'm just going to kind of dust it on the eyelid, focus it on the outer corner, and just kind of go into the crease. We're just going to do a very simple look. The shadow's blending out pretty good. Sometimes at Wet n Wild, I love their face products, but sometimes their eyeshadows can be a little bit hit or miss, but that's blending beautifully. Woo! This is going to make for a nice kind of a one and done eyeshadow. Shade is really pretty. It's very toasty and warm. I'm going to take Blend Bunny 1 and we're going to go into this shade right here. It's just a little bit deeper than that one. It's not too much of a difference. Just to see if we can add a little bit more depth in that inner corner. Alright, yeah, it's not a huge difference between that one and the first shade, but it has a little bit more warmth to it, and it is giving me just a little bit more depth in the outer corner. I'm going to take the same brush with that same shade, and we're just going to kind of go quickly under the lower lash line. Now this look is coming together really quickly. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and do an all matte look. All matte with maybe just a touch of shimmer in the middle. I'm going to take this lightest shade here, just going to put that on the inner part of the eye. It's a white, but it almost looks like there's a bit of a lavender, just a slight lavender undertone with it. So I'm just going to lay that down, this part, and then we're going to kind of blend the two shades together. Sometimes all matte looks just as beautiful as if you have a lot of glitzy shine going on in the eyes. So I'm going to go back in with that first brush, just going to softly blend everything together. I'm going to take Blend Bunny 2, which is the smallest one, and I'm just going to lightly dip into the Mercier Luminizer and just add just a little bit of shine in the inner corner. Went ahead and did my liner off camera. I just used the eye marker from LA Colors. It's one of my absolute favorite liners, and in my lower waterline, and for my waterline I just use this liner from Be Pure. I got this from the Dollar Tree. It's a nude like eyebrow highlighting pencil, but I actually really like it as an eye brightening pencil. All right, so let's go ahead and throw on some mascara real quick. I'm using a combination of the Level Up mascara. This is the Uoma by Sharon. I absolutely love this one, and I'm going to combine it with the Curling Uplifting Mascara from AOA Studio. This one is newer to my collection. Kind of liking the effect that I'm getting with both. Flip this over so I can actually see what it is that I'm doing. So tomorrow, Saturday the 26th, we will be doing our first comic convention since for, the Big P hit. So it's been almost exactly 2 years. The last one that we went to was in March 2020, right before everything shut down and the world just started to go to hell. That was the Tupelo Comic Con. We have been to an outdoor Japanese festival here, the Memphis Japan Festival. I took Instagram of my hanbok, which is a traditional Korean dress. Even though it was a Japanese festival, I like to, any excuse I have to pull up my hanbok, I will take it. And so I have those pictures on Instagram. That was an outdoor festival. This is our first time venturing to an actual indoor Comic-Con. I've mentioned before that my family, we love doing comic conventions. I have taken so many autographs. I have taken so many pictures with celebrities. You guys would not believe some of the celebrities that I have met and taken photo ops with. This one is a smaller con, so they don't have like celebrities or anything like that. It's called the Mid-South Con. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's actually only 5 minutes from us. We live in Memphis, Tennessee, by the way, if I have not mentioned that. I'm kind of excited. Usually we dress in costume, but we're not going to be doing that this time since this is our first time really venturing out to a con. At least for me. My daughter has been to a couple of anime cons in the last couple of years. But as far as myself, my husband, and the 9-year-old, this will be our first time really venturing out to an indoor con. So I just kind of want to see what everything is like first before I decide to get in costume. See, I like the combination of those two. I think it gives me nice lip separation. A little bit of volume going on. This mascara is actually a really good formula for holding your curl. I know that waterproof mascaras are considered to be the best, but I hate waterproof mascaras. I don't like them at all. I find they're so difficult to get off. Where this con is concerned, I'm mostly excited because I'm going to be seeing some friends that I have not seen since before the pandemic. So that's what I'm most excited about. Big ol' hugs from the people that I have not been able to see in a while. That's what I'm most excited about more than anything. To finish off, I'm going to be using first of all, let me pick out a liner. I'm going to be using this one from Beauty Bay. This one is in Bikini. It's kind of a corally, kind of a peachy pink. This is part of the road trip collection, I think it is. There were 4 mattes altogether. I kept 3. One of them I gave away in one of my recent giveaways. I'm currently waiting for my Beauty Bay package to come in that I recently ordered. This one should match. This is from AOA Studio. This is new to my collection. This shade is in Insta. I guess that's supposed to be in reference to Instagram. I ordered that big green eyeshadow palette Beauty Bay launched. There was a big green one, there was a purpley one, and I think there was one more that was large. I think it's like 42 shades. I don't usually get palettes that are that big, but that one just really spoke to me, the green ones. I grabbed it, and I also grabbed the smaller of the red one, and I got an eye pencil set and a new lip pencil set, and they're out for delivery right now. I swear to God, I ordered them almost a month ago, and they're showing out for delivery today. So I'm kind of watching, to see when the package is actually going to get here. But I swear to God, it took forever. That is like a super bright shade. I might have to put on a deeper lip pencil, but let's see how it works with this. And these smell like cookies. Ooh, that's kind of bright too. It's brighter than I thought it would be. Ooh. But it does match perfectly with that pencil. That shade went on a little bit patchy. I'm just going to kind of blend it out a little bit with my finger. Alright, so that looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit more blurred and not so patchy. I might try to get some vlog footage of the convention, but since this is my first time venturing out to the convention in over 2 years, I really just want to be able to focus on hanging out with some friends that I haven't seen for a while. That might not happen. We'll just have to see. If you like these types of videos, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and you are not already subscribed, I would love it if you would consider joining my little family and hitting subscribe, and make sure that you tap the notification bell so you'll be notified of any videos coming up in the future. Also, be sure to follow me on my other socials. I am on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. Be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.